My wife rejected me in bed. Don't touch me. I have self-respect. So the next day, when she came to me with her own demands, I told her the same thing. Don't ask me. I have self-respect. And she completely lost her mind. What's up, Reddit? My wife thought she could treat me like garbage while I funded her entire lifestyle, and then acted shocked when I finally stopped swiping the card. So grab your popcorn, because this one's a ride. My name's Dean, 36, male. For the first 6.5 years, Grace and I had a solid marriage. We met at a supply chain conference in Dallas, bonded over terrible hotel coffee and even worse keynote speakers. Back then, she worked in event planning. She had her own thing going. We dated for 18 months, got married, bought a house in the Chicago suburbs, did the whole American dream routine. Things were good. We traveled Nashville, Austin, Colorado. She had her friends. I had mine. Weekends were for couple stuff. Dinner at that place she loved, movies on the couch. A normal marriage. Nothing country song tragic, nothing lawyer level dramatic. Then, about 5 months ago, something shifted. It started small, little comments about how I didn't put enough effort into date nights. Eye rolls when I'd suggest cooking instead of ordering out. This new habit of correcting me in front of people like I was a kid. Your friend is Carter, not Carl. We went to Mexico, not Miami. You're thinking of your other job. Her friend Monica started coming around more, a realtor with a white Audi who treats every conversation like she's closing a deal. Divorced twice, collects alimony like baseball cards, and has strong opinions about everyone's relationship. Suddenly, Grace was talking about how I didn't appreciate her enough, how marriage should be equal effort, how she deserved better treatment. Better treatment? I work 60-hour weeks managing supply chain logistics for a freight company. I pay the mortgage on our 4-bedroom house. I paid off her student loans last year. Her car is in my name because her credit tanked after some shopping spree phase she went through before we even met. I'm not some absentee husband rolling in at midnight smelling like cigarettes. I'm a normal guy trying to keep everything running. But I didn't push back. I figured it was a phase. Maybe she was stressed about turning 31. Maybe Monica was in her ear. I stayed calm, kept doing my thing, waited for it to pass. It didn't. 3 months ago, she quit her event planning job, said her boss was micromanaging her. Before that, it was a nonprofit coordinator position she left because the hours were too demanding. Before that, another job with another excuse. She's been unemployed since January, spending her days at yoga classes and lunch dates while I'm managing shipments from Cleveland to Atlanta and wondering when she plans to contribute again. I didn't nag. I just kept the bills paid and stayed quiet, hoping she'd find her footing. Then 2 months ago, the bedroom started getting cold. She'd pull away when I reached for her at night. I'm tired. I have a headache. I just want to sleep. Fine, not every night has to be date night. But then it became every night. Then it became her flinching when I touched her shoulder. Then her sleeping as close to the edge of the bed as possible, like I was contagious. Last night was a breaking point. I was lying in bed reading on my phone. She was finishing her nighttime routine. She got into bed, settled on her side facing away from me. I put my phone down and leaned over to kiss her goodnight. My hand brushed her shoulder. She jerked away like I shocked her. "Don't touch me," she snapped, her voice sharp enough to cut steel. I respect myself too much for that. I froze, my hand still midair. "What?" "You heard me," she said, still not looking at me. I respect myself. I'm not just available whenever you feel like it. "Grace," I said, trying to stay level. "I was going to kiss you goodnight." "That's it." She finally turned toward me, completely shut down, like she'd been waiting to make this big dramatic statement. "I don't care what you were going to do," she said. "My body, my choice. And I choose not to be touched by someone who doesn't appreciate me." "Someone who doesn't appreciate you?" I asked, and I could feel my voice sharpening. "What exactly am I not appreciating?" She sat up, taking on that holier-than-thou attitude she's been carrying around lately. "That's exactly the problem, Dean. You think money equals love. You don't see me. You don't value me as a person." I laugh. I can't help it. It just comes out because the whole thing is so ridiculous it feels like performance art. I don't value you. You haven't worked in 5 months. Grace. You spend your days at brunch with Monica talking about how hard marriage is while I'm stuck in traffic for 2 hours dealing with actual problems. Her face goes bright red. Get out. What? Get out of this bed. Sleep somewhere else. I don't want you near me. I stare at her for a long moment, waiting for some sign this is a joke, some weird test, something other than my wife of 7 years literally telling me to get out of my own bed. Fine, I say, grabbing my pillow. Good luck paying the bills with your self-respect. I walk out, close the door, and head to the guest room. I lie there staring at the ceiling, listening to the house settle, and something clicks. This isn't a phase. This isn't stress. This is a rewriting the rules and expecting me to accept it. Not happening. I pull out my phone and text Carter. You around tomorrow? Need to grab a drink and talk. He responds 30 seconds later. Yeah, man. Everything good? I type back. Define good. 20 minutes later, I'm still awake when I hear Grace go into the bathroom. Water running. Her whole ritual like nothing happened. Like she didn't just blow up 7 years of marriage over a goodnight kiss. I don't go back in there. Don't apologize. Don't smooth anything over. I just lie there thinking about my next move. I've been playing defense for 5 months, blocking her shots, absorbing her hits, minimizing damage. That part's done. Time to switch it up. And I'm pretty good at playing offense. Morning comes, and I'm up at 6 out of habit. The house is quiet. Grace is still asleep, all pretending. I shower in the guest bathroom, get dressed, head downstairs to make coffee. Our neighbor Bob is already in her front yard when I step outside to grab the paper. Bob's a 60-something woman who's lived on our street since dinosaurs walked the earth. She knows everything about everyone. Morning. Dean, she calls. You're up early. Everything okay with you and Grace? Everything's fine. Bob. She give me the suspicious look. Well, if you two need anything, I'm right here. I nod and head back inside. Bob's harmless, but she's going to be all over this when things blow up. Note to self. When the divorce goes through, Bob will probably host a neighborhood meeting about it. Bring casseroles. Suburban gossip networks make the CIA look like amateurs. Inside, Grace is up. She's in the kitchen wearing yoga pants and an oversized sweatshirt, phone in hand. She doesn't look at me when I walk in. Morning. I say, just to see what happens. She doesn't respond, just keeps scrolling. I pour myself coffee and lean against the counter. We're doing the silent treatment now. I don't have anything to say to you, she says, still not looking up. Cool, I say. Then don't expect me to stick around tonight. Got plans. Her eyes flick up for half a second. What plans? Poker night at Carter's. I say it casually. I've been going to Carter's poker nights for 6 years. Same guys, same setup, twice a month, like clockwork. On a Thursday, she asks. Yeah, Grace. On a Thursday. Carter texted last night. Moved it up because Owen's got some conference this weekend. Amazing how she can go from total silence to suddenly caring about my schedule the second I mention doing something without her. Pretending it's concern when it's really control. Classic move. She sets her phone down and crosses her arms. You can't just make plans without telling me. I just did, I say, rinsing my mug in the sink. And technically, I did tell you. Just now. That's not how marriage works, Dean. I turn around and look at her straight on. You told me to get out of our bed last night because I tried to kiss you. You said you don't want to be touched by me, so I'm giving you space. Be grateful. Her mouth opens like she's about to fire back, but I'm already walking out the door. At work, I'm running on 4 hours of sleep in pure spite. I've got 3 shipments delayed in Ohio, a client screaming about late delivery, and my assistant manager calling in sick again. I spend 4 hours on the phone fixing other people's problems, then another 2 in a planning meeting that could have been an email. Carter texts around noon. You good for tonight, or was that an SOS? I text back. Both. He sends a laughing emoji and bring cash. I'm taking it all tonight. By 6 p.m., I'm at Carter's place. He's got this downtown condo, total bachelor pad, leather furniture, massive TV, poker table set up. Owen's already there, quiet as usual, organizing his chips. He works in IT security, never talks about it. He's got this deadpan delivery that makes everything funnier. And then there's Brendan, sales guy, second marriage, paying alimony to the first wife. Dean, Carter says when I walk in, you look like garbage. What happened? Grace? I say, dropping into a chair. Say no more. Brendan says, dealing cards. Women are complicated. That's why I'm married too. Owen doesn't look up from his chips. How's that working out? I'm broke and happy, Brendan says. Living the dream. That's not what you said last week when you were crying about your bank account, Owen says. I wasn't crying. Carter laughs. You guys want to actually play poker, or should we schedule a therapy session? We're settling into the first hand when there's a knock on the door. Carter gets up to answer it, and I hear her voice immediately. Grace. She walks in like she owns a place. Monica right behind her. Hope you guys don't mind. Grace says, oh, fake sweetness. We were in the neighborhood. Carter looks at me. I give him a slight headshake. He's too polite to kick them out, even though this is clearly some ambush Grace planned. Sure, he says. Pull up a chair. They settle on the couch behind the poker table. Monica immediately starts asking about the condo, how much Carter pays, whether he owns or rents. We're halfway through a hand when Grace starts. Dean, she says loud enough for everyone to hear, you're probably going to lose all your money tonight again. The table goes quiet. Brendan looks at me. Owen stays at his cards. Carter deals the next card slower than necessary. I look at her calmly. If I lose, it's my money. You're not exactly bringing in income right now. Her smile twitches. Oh, come on. Don't be sensitive. It's just a joke. Yeah, I say, tossing a chip into the pot. Hilarious. Monica lets out this fake laugh. Grace is just keeping you humble. Dean, all men need that. I ignore her. Focus on my cards. But Grace isn't done. 20 minutes later, she tries again. We're in the middle of a big hand, almost $300 in the pot, when she leans forward. Dean, maybe you should fold. Strategy is clearly not your strong suit. Owen looks up from his cards. Actually, his win rate's higher than everyone here except Carter. Grace blinks. What? We keep stats, Owen says, completely deadpan. Dean's up $4,000 over the last 2 years. Brendan points at Owen with his drink. Why you gotta bring that up right now? Making me look bad. Owen shrugs. It's just data. Well, money isn't everything, Monica says, trying to save face for Grace. It is in poker, Owen replies without looking up. The whole table is watching now, waiting to see what I do. Carter's got a little smirk. He's enjoying the show. I fold my hand anyway. Stand up, grab my jacket. I'm out. Grace's eyes go wide. What? You're leaving? Yep, I say, looking at Carter. Sorry, man. I'll catch you later. Carter nods, respecting it. But why? Grace asks, and I can hear the panic creeping in. I look at her, then at the table, then back at her, because I don't play where I'm not respected. Then I walk out. Door clicks shut behind me. Clean exit. Done. My phone starts blowing up before I even hit the elevator. Grace calling. I decline. Monica texting. I delete it. By the time I'm in my car, I've got 4 missed calls. I text Carter. My bad for the scene. He texts back immediately. Don't apologize. That was the most interesting hand we played all year. I drive home the long way. Grace showed up to humiliate me in front of my friends. When it didn't work, when I just left, she panicked. She wants control. Wants me to chase her, beg her, prove myself. Yeah, no, I didn't sign up for that game show. I get home around 10 o'clock. Grace's car is already in the driveway. I walk in and she's in the living room, arms crossed, ready for round 2. Really, Dean, she says, you just embarrass me like that. I embarrass you. I say, heading for the stairs. You showed up uninvited to my poker night just to take shots at me. That's on you. I was trying to spend time with you, she says, her voice rising. No, I say, stopping on the third step. You were trying to prove something to Monica. Maybe prove something to yourself. I'm sleeping in the guest room again. Figure out what you want from this marriage, because I'm done guessing. You can't just... She starts, but I'm already upstairs, door closed, done with the conversation. I lie there thinking about next steps. This isn't fixable. It's broken at the foundation. Tomorrow, I'm calling a lawyer. The next morning, Grace is gone before I wake up. No note, no text, just an empty house. Fine by me. I make breakfast. Actually enjoy the silence. Head to work without any drama. Around noon, my phone rings. Unknown number from Milwaukee. I almost don't answer, but something tells me to pick up. Dean, a woman's voice says, sharp, judgmental. It's Caroline. Caroline, my mother-in-law, a woman who's never liked me and has been taking shots at our marriage for 7 years at every family dinner. Hi, Caroline, I say, keeping my voice neutral. Grace called me this morning. She's very upset. You've been emotionally distant. Sleeping in another room. I was at poker night. Caroline, my poker night. She showed up uninvited. She says you've been hostile to everyone. Grace deserves better than this. Caroline, if she deserves better, tell her to go find it. I'm done being lectured by you. How dare you? I hang up. That evening, I'm sitting on my porch with a soda when Bob materializes out of nowhere. So Grace leave with suitcases this morning, she says. Everything okay? She went to her mother's, I say, taking a sip, taking some space. Bob sits down on my porch steps uninvited. It's about who's willing to be more stubborn. You want this to work? Outlast her. I'm not trying to outlast anyone, I say. I'm just tired of being the enemy in my own house. She stands up, then maybe stop defending and start attacking. She walks away before I can ask what that means. Grace comes back 2 days later with her mother in tow. Caroline walks in like she owns the place, immediately starts rearranging throw pillows. Dean, she says, barely looking at me, we need to talk. No, we don't, I say. This is between me and Grace. I'm her mother. I have a right. You're a guest in my house, Caroline. Act like it or leave. Her face goes purple. Grace jumps in. See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. He's hostile to everyone. Your mother just walked into my house and started criticizing me within 30 seconds. Because someone needs to, Caroline says. I grab my keys. I'm going to Wisconsin for the weekend. You two can have the house. You can't just leave, Grace says. Watch me. Wisconsin's a 3-hour drive, and I make it in 2.5. The cabin's exactly as I left it last month. Small, rustic, quiet. I spend the weekend fishing, reading, not thinking about Grace or Caroline or any of it. When I get back Sunday night, Grace has calmed down. Caroline's gone. We exist in the same house for another week without talking much. Then Wednesday morning, she corners me in the kitchen before work. What's this? I ask. Marriage counseling, she says. I found someone. We have an appointment Friday. I'm not going, I say. Dean, we need help. No, Grace. You need to decide what you want from this marriage, because I'm done being your emotional punching bag while you figure yourself out. I'm trying to fix this, she says, getting louder. By ambushing me with appointments I didn't agree to? By bringing your mother here to attack me? That's not fixing anything. My phone buzzes. Text from Carter. Monica's throwing a barbecue Saturday. You and Grace invited. Should I make an excuse for you? I text back. I'll be there. This is going to be fun. Saturday comes, and we show up to Monica's house separately. I get there first. Grab a spot with Carter and Owen near the grill. Monica's backyard is ridiculous. In-ground pool with waterfall feature, outdoor kitchen with 3 different grills, professional landscaping. Divorce settlement apparently pay well. Brendan's there too, holding court near the drink cooler with some story about a client who bought 30 hospital beds cash. Grace shows up 20 minutes later with Caroline in tow, because of course she brought her mother. They make a beeline for Monica and 2 other women I don't know. All of them immediately start that high-pitched cackling that sounds awful. This is going to be a disaster, Carter says, watching them. Yep, I say, taking a drink. Should have stayed home. Why'd you come? Owen asks. Curiosity. I say, want to see how bad it gets. Brendan walks over with a plate loaded with burgers. Your wife's giving you the death stare from across the yard, he says. We're about an hour in. Food's on the grill. People are mingling when Monica calls out across the yard. Dean, she yells, can you help Grace bring out the dishes? It's not a request. It's a command, loud enough for everyone to hear. A test to see if I'll jump when she snaps her fingers. Half the yard turns to look. I look at her, then at Grace, then back at my conversation. No thanks. I say, I'm good. Dead silence spreads across the yard. Monica's face goes through about 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, anger, embarrassment, more anger. Excuse me, she says. You've got 2 legs and 2 arms. I say, voice completely casual. Pretty sure you can handle dishes without me. Grace jumps in now, sounding tense. Dean, don't be rude. No, I say, still not moving. I'm just not taking orders at a party. If you need help, ask like an adult. Don't announce it like I'm the hired help. Caroline steps forward now from wherever she was lurking, pointing at me like I'm a disobedient child. You will not speak to these women like that. I stand up, hand my drink to Carter. Actually, Caroline, I'll speak however I want. This isn't your house. You're not my mother, and I'm done pretending you have any authority over me. The yard's completely quiet now. Even the kids stopped running around. A guy with grill tongs stands there frozen in midday. Eli's trying to disappear into his lawn chair. Grace's face is red. You're embarrassing me. No, I say, walking toward my car. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm just refusing to participate. Have a great party. I leave. Second party. Second exit. I'm developing a signature move. My phone explodes before I'm out of the driveway. Grace calling, Monica texting. I ignore all of it. 3 exits from 3 events in 2 weeks. At least I'm consistent. I drive to a restaurant, grab dinner alone, watch a game on TV. My phone keeps buzzing. Finally, I shut it off and enjoy the silence. When I get home around 9 o'clock, the house is empty. There's a note on the counter. Staying at Monica's tonight. We need space. I crumple the note and toss it. Space. Sure, whatever helps us sleep at night. Monday morning, I called Janet. Carter gave me her number months ago just in case. She's a divorce attorney. I need a consultation, I tell her assistant. She's got an opening Wednesday at 2, the assistant says. Wednesday comes, and I'm sitting in her office downtown, 17th floor, windows overlooking Lake Michigan, shelves full of legal books and framed credentials. Janet's in her late 40s, salt and pepper hair pulled back, doesn't miss a thing. Tell me what's happening, she says. I lay it all out. The bedroom rejection, the poker night ambush, the mother-in-law invasion, the barbecue disaster. Janet takes notes, asks questions. Does she work? No. Who pays the bills? I do. Whose name is on the house? Both, but I paid the down payment and handle the mortgage. The cars? Mine's in my name. Hayes is in my name because of her credit. Any kids? No. Good. Janet says. That makes it cleaner. We go over assets. The house is worth about $400,000. Mortgage is down to $260,000. Retirement accounts I've been funding. Savings I built up before we got married. The cabin in Wisconsin is mine. I bought it 6 years before we met. That's separate property, Janet confirms. She's got no claim. What's my timeline? I ask. File, serve her, negotiate. 6 months minimum in Illinois. Could be longer if she fights. She's going to fight, I say. Janet smiles. They all do, until they see the legal bills. Then they get reasonable. I leave her office with a plan, file the papers, get her served, move into my own place. Clean break. That evening, I start apartment hunting. Find a place in the city, 1 bedroom, 12th floor, parking included. Sign the lease that night. Move-in date is 2 weeks from Friday. I don't tell Grace. She'll find out soon enough. The next 2 weeks, I'm preparing, moving my stuff to storage, organizing documents, transferring money to accounts only in my name. Grace is too busy with Monica to notice. She's barely home anyway. I'm sleeping in the guest room every night. We barely speak. She leaves passive-aggressive notes. I leave cash on the counter and go to work. Bob catches me loading boxes into my truck one morning. "Moving out?" she asks, not even trying to be subtle. "Yep," I say. She nods. "Good for you. You want my advice?" "Not really, Bob." She gives it anyway. Don't let her make you the bad guy. Women like that rewrite history to make themselves a victim. You stick to your truth. "Thanks, Bob," I say, actually meaning it. Friday comes and Janet files the papers. I get confirmation at 2 p.m. The process server is scheduled for Monday morning. I spend the weekend moving the last of my stuff out. Grace is at her mother's in Milwaukee. Doesn't even know it's happening. Monday morning, 9 a.m. The process server shows up at our house. I know because Grace calls me 30 seconds later, sounding pissed. "What is this?" she says. "Divorce papers," I say calmly. "I'm done, Grace." There's a pause. "You can't be serious. We can fix this." I'm serious. And no, we can't. She hangs up. I expect the screaming to start immediately, but it doesn't. Instead, I get nothing for 2 hours. Then a text. "Can we at least talk in person?" I don't respond. An hour later, "Dean, please." I know I made mistakes. Still nothing from me. By evening, the tone shifts. Another text. "You're really going to throw away 7 years like this? Then fine if this is what you want." But the next morning is when things really fall apart. She calls at 7 a.m., and this time she's crying. Real or fake? I can't tell anymore. "Dean, please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll change. I'll do whatever you want." "You had 5 months to change," I say. "You chose not to. Now deal with the consequences." The tears stop instantly. "I'm going to fight this," she says, her voice getting hard. "You'll regret walking away from me." "Fight all you want. My lawyer's ready." I hang up. She calls back immediately. I decline and turn my phone off. That evening, I'm at my new apartment unpacking boxes when someone starts pounding on my door. I look through the peephole and it's Grace, her face red, makeup smeared, hair a mess. I don't open the door. "Dean," she yells through the door. "Open up. We need to talk." "No, we don't," I say from the other side. "Please," she says, and now she's crying again. I was confused. Monica was in my head. I'll fire her as a friend. I'll do anything. Interesting how we're at the bargaining stage already. Usually takes longer. She must be more desperate than I thought. "Grace, go home," I say. "This is your fault," she screams, flipping instantly. "You gave up on us. You quit. You're weak." "I'm done engaging," I say. "You've got my lawyer's number. Talk to her." "I'll take everything," she yells. "The house, the money, your retirement. You will have nothing." "You can try," I say. She pounds on the door for another 5 minutes, yells threats, cries, begs, yells more threats. Finally, building security shows up and escorts her out. They call me after. "Sir, is everything okay? Do you need to file a report?" "No," I say. "Just a domestic situation. It's handled." Over the next week, she tries everything. Day 1, she tries apologetic. Long texts about how she's been reflecting, how she sees where she went wrong, how she wants to rebuild trust. I don't respond. Day 2, she tries bargaining. Shows up at my work with coffee, asking if we can just talk for 5 minutes. Security escorts her out. She waits in the parking lot for an hour before giving up. Day 3, she sends Monica. She corners me at a coffee shop near my office, starts her pitch about how Grace is just scared and confused. I walk out mid-sentence. Day 4, the anger breaks through. Texts shift from apologetic to accusatory. "You gave up on us. You quit. You're weak. This is all your fault." Day 5, She tries using mutual friends. People I barely know start texting me about giving Grace another chance, about how marriage takes work. I block them all. And it goes on. Each day, she's getting more unhinged. Day 7. Carter texts. Grace is telling people you abandoned her for no reason. Just FYI. I text back. Let her talk. The truth comes out eventually. Janet calls me Friday afternoon. She's making noise about wanting the house, spousal support, and half your retirement accounts. I told her to get comfortable being disappointed. What's our play? I ask. We offer her exactly what she's entitled to and not a penny more. Illinois is equitable distribution. She gets half the marital assets. That's the house equity and retirement contributions made during the marriage. No spousal support because she's capable of working. She can take it or we go to court and she pays legal fees. Sounds good to me, I say. By week 3, Grace is getting desperate. She starts posting on social media about betrayal and broken trust. Vague posts that are obviously about me. Monica shares all of them with commentary about how men are trash. I don't respond. Don't engage. Just let her shout into the void. Then week 4 happens. I'm at the cabin for the weekend. Invited Carter and Owen up for fishing and grilling. Brendan was supposed to come but bailed last minute. Something about his second wife having a meltdown. Classic Brendan problems. We're out on the dock Saturday afternoon, completely relaxed. Owen's already caught 2 bays, which he won't stop mentioning. Carter's caught nothing but keeps insisting his technique is superior. I'm just enjoying the quiet. This is a life, Owen says, reeling in his 3rd fish of the day. Then we hear a car coming up the drive. We all look at each other. No one should be here. The cabin's 40 minutes from the nearest town, down a date road that doesn't show up on GPS. The car door slams. We hear heels on gravel. Not good. Then we hear her voice. Grace comes around the side of the cabin, and she's a mess. She's wearing a cocktail dress and stiletto heels, like she came straight from a restaurant. Swaying on those heels, eyes unfocused. "Dean!" she yells, spotting me on the dock. "We need to talk right now." Owen looks at me, eyebrows raised. "Want us to leave?" I shake my head. "Nah. Stay. This should be entertaining." Grace stumbles toward the dock, almost trips twice. Carter mutters something about liability insurance, and I hold back a laugh. "You can't just ignore me," she says, getting closer, pointing at me. "I'm your wife." "You're my soon-to-be ex-wife," I say, not moving from my chair. "And you're trespassing. This is my property." She stops at the edge of the dock, wobbling in her heels. The dock's only 5 feet wide, and she's taking up most of it. "I came all the way here to make you listen to me." "I'm not interested," I say. "Go home." "You ruined my life," she says. "You gave up on us. You're a quitter." "No," I say. "I just stopped playing a rigged game where the rules changed every time I started winning." Carter snorts into his drink. Owen's biting his lip. "Who the heck are you?" Grace says, squinting at them, "Are these your new friends? Did you replace me already?" "These are the same friends I've had for 6 years," I say. "You're just too self-absorbed to remember." "Hey," Owen says, completely deadpan. "That toast took me 3 hours to write." Carter starts laughing. "I'm self-absorbed," she yells, getting louder. "I gave you 7 years of my life." "And I paid for all 7 of them," I say. "What exactly did you give me besides attitude and ultimatums?" "I loved you," she says, like this is some grand revelation. "You love the lifestyle," I correct. "You love what I provided." "That's not true," she says. Her voice cracks. "Grace," I say, standing up now, "you kicked me out of our bed for trying to kiss you. You humiliated me in front of my friends. You brought your mother to my house to attack me. You showed up at parties just to order me around like hired help. You made it very clear I wasn't good enough for you. So I left. That's on you." "But I regret it," she says, full on sobbing now. Makeup running everywhere. I was confused. Monica said I deserved better, and I believed her. Monica's divorced twice and miserable. I say, maybe don't take marriage advice from someone who can't keep one. Carter raises his drink. Cheers to that. You're being cruel, Grace says. I'm being honest. I reply, you wanted better. Go find it. But you don't get to show up drunk at my cabin throwing tantrums because I called your bluff. I came here to fight for us, she says. No, I say, you came here because you're realizing nobody else is going to put up with your BS. She just stares at me, tears running down her face. Makeup completely destroyed now. Owen stands up, holding out his phone. You should probably get a ride home. You're not in any condition to drive. This is none of your concern, she yells at him. Then she turns back to me. This is what you want? To humiliate me in front of strangers? You humiliated yourself. I say, I hate you, she says. I shrug. Join the club. Your mother's president. She lets out this sound, half scream, half sob, and turns to storm off dramatically, which would have been more effective if she wasn't unstable and wearing 4-inch heels on a wooden dock. She makes it maybe 5 steps before her heel gets caught between 2 boards. For a second, she's teetering there, arms wimbling like she's trying to take flight. Then gravity wins. She goes down face first, a full-on faceplant into the dock. The impact makes this hollow thud that echoes across the lake. Her dress rides up. One shoe flies off into the water with a plop, and she's just sprawled there, making this muffled sound into the wood. Owen's got his phone out before she even hits the deck. Carter is physically shaking from trying not to laugh, his face turning red. Grace pushes herself up slowly, pieces of dock stuck to her forehead. A red mark is already forming on her cheek. Her hair is hanging in clumps. She looks like she just lost a fight with a ceiling fan. Screw all of you. Did you just take pictures? Did you? She slurs at Owen, still on all fours. Video. Actually, Owen says, delete it right now. Owen looks at his phone, swipes a few times. Nope, I don't think I will. This is quality content. Carter loses it, just starts laughing. Deep, gasping laughs. The kind where you can't breathe. Grace struggles to her feet. One shoe on, one shoe gone. The red mark on her face is already starting to bruise. She's got splinters in her palms that she's trying to pick out while maintaining whatever dignity she thinks she still has. You're all terrible people, she says, voice shaking. I hate all of you. She tries to storm off again, realizes she only has one shoe, takes it off, and throws it at me. Misses by about 3 feet. It lands in the lake next to the first one. Well, now you're littering, Owen observes. Should we call the DNR? Carter is sitting on the dock now, completely unable to function from laughing. Grace limps barefoot toward her car, dress torn at the hem, looking absolutely defeated. Carter pulls out his phone. I'm calling her an Uber. She's definitely not driving. Good call, I say. Also, send me that video. Already did, Owen says. This is the best thing I've filmed since my nephew's birthday party when the clown got attacked by wasps. 10 minutes later, an Uber shows up. The driver takes one look at Grace's wrecked face and torn dress, and his jaw drops. Carter talks to him, probably tips him extra, and explains she's upset, not abused. Grace gets in the Uber, still crying. Her car sits in my driveway. Both her shoes are in my lake. Carter comes back to the dock. Well, that was dramatic. Wait till her lawyer sees the settlement offer. I say. Owen's still looking at his phone, grinning. I'm definitely making stickers of this. We fish for another hour. It's quiet except for the water lapping against the dock, the occasional bird call, and Owen periodically snickering at the video on his phone. 6 months later, the divorce is final. Grace got exactly what she was entitled to under Illinois law, half the house equity after selling costs, half the marital retirement contributions. Her car, that's it. No spousal support. The judge ruled she was capable of working. She tried arguing emotional distress and abandonment. The judge shut both down fast. Total legal fees cost me $8,000. Worth every penny. She moved in with Monica permanently after the house sold. Last I heard, through the suburban gossip network that is Bob, she got a part-time job at a bank. Probably hates every minute of it. Caroline called me once after the divorce finalized. Told me I destroyed her daughter's life, that I was selfish and heartless. I told her she should have taught her daughter not to bite the hand that feeds her. She hung up, Hasn't called since. Carter and Owen come by most weekends. We do the normal bachelor stuff. Watch games, play cards, order food. Last week, Brendan joined and spent 2 hours complaining about his alimony payments. We made him pay for pizza as punishment. I'm not dating yet. Not interested. Just living on my terms for the first time in 7 years. Life is peaceful. Guys, we are so close to hitting 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come. All